Welcome back to Better Than Yesterday. Today I'm shooting a BTY Raw video. This is where either Michael and I have individual discussions about a certain topic that is on our minds or that's currently happening in our lives. So this evening I want to speak about the different seasons we have in our life and how to navigate through each of them, to know what they're about and just why we have these different stages in our lives. So recently I've become aware of having different moments in our lives. You've got these times where you're just feeling happy and you're up in cloud nine. It's just a beautiful time in your life. Everything seems to be going right. Either you're applying for a job or an internship, or you're in a competition. Anything that's good. Like it's a season where you're winning and you're just accomplishing everything that you've wanted to accomplish. Everything seems to be going your way. Then suddenly things start to change and it feels like the world is against you. You're going through a bit of a rough time. It seems like nothing is going your way and you're just experiencing loss after loss after loss. Then you've got another season where things just seem like it's stagnant. So it's like nothing specifically exciting is happening in your life. You're just going with the normal trends. You're either going to school or to work or to university, going back home, either going out with friends during a weekend and just doing something. But it's just like you're following a normal routine, but everything is staying constant. You're not really experiencing any losses, but you're also not experiencing any wins. It's just like everything seems to just be going on this straight line and nothing goes up or down. Then you've got a season where you're in preparation, where you're learning a lot of new things, you're making friends, you're being introduced to different things in your life which you haven't experienced before. And yeah, each of these seasons have different names. So what I saw is that you get the seasons where it's compared to the seasons we have in the environment, whether when it's spring, summer, winter, autumn. But then you also get seasons names where it's called a waiting season, a warring season, a winning season, and then there's one more which I'll come to once I start to talk about that. So firstly, I want to talk about the waiting season. So as a Christian, this would be a time when God, who I believe in, is just preparing me for something or preparing us for something. This is a season when you just have to trust that things are going to go your way. And this is a season where you're waiting on something specific to happen. For example, you're studying, you're in your second year, the first year's excitement of starting to study, being in a new phase of your life is gone, and you just have to get through these studies in order to start working. So this is a time in your life where you kind of feel stagnant and it's like nothing different is really happening. I'm doing the same thing as last year. I don't feel like there's any progress. But this is a time when you must just prepare yourself and get ready for the next stage of your life. And that is initially why there's a waiting season. This is when you need to have preparation and just become ready so that when the next season arrives, you know how to handle it. Initially you won't know everything, but you would have a certain idea and mentally you would be ready for that season. Then there's a winning season in your life. This is when everything tends to be going right. You meet friends, you're having a good time with them, you accomplish all the goals that you've set for yourself, and it just seems like everything is going right. You're in a really happy place of your life, and this is when you need to practice gratitude. You need to be grateful for everything that's happening and still remember that things could have gone another way, but they're just going your way. This is also when your character is tested. It's like, am I gonna get an ego boost with this? From this, am I going to become cocky? Am I gonna just celebrate and think that I'm gonna stay here and just start pushing people down or looking down on them? Or is this a season where I'll appreciate where I am in life, but I'll also not look to others and see where they are? I'm not gonna be bragging or boasting about all these things that's happening. It's really a character test. Then you get a warring season. This is when everything seems to be going wrong. You don't know what you are doing wrong, and it's not necessarily your fault, but it's just like if let's say your camera breaks and your phone got stolen and you're just sick constantly. You're getting in trouble with your parents for small things, and it's just like nothing seems to be going right, and you're trying, but it doesn't seem to be making sense why nothing wants to go your way. Then you get the last season that I want to talk about, that I said I'd refer to later, is the resting season. This is a time in your life where you're just supposed to wind down and recover and fill up your tank again, fill up that battery, get ready for the next thing in your life. And usually, when we're in a winning season, when everything's going right, we just want to push, and keep grinding. And then God has to intervene and say, okay, you got to stop now, you have to slow down. Or He just uses something that happens in your life because He doesn't want bad things to happen. So let's say that you also become sick, or you're just forced into a position where you kind of have to rest and do nothing. So this is an important season even for us young people, where in our 20s we're supposed to be building. This is a time that you just have to kind of allow yourself to breathe and just be ready and have the energy to take on what's coming next. But also, the last thing that I want to get into is knowing these seasons, and you should be aware of where you are in life and embrace it, and remember that each season is temporary. That if you're going through a dark or a bad time in your life, you should remember that it's not going to last forever. You can and you will get out of it somehow. Something will change, then you'll be back in a winning season. And you have to remember that the winning season isn't something that's going to last forever. These seasons in our life, there's a lot of transitions that are going to happen throughout our lifetime, and that's natural. That's part of life. It's not that you're doing something wrong or you've been cursed or whatever. It's just natural things that happen in life. And once you embrace and accept that there's going to be different times in your life and each one isn't going to be as fun, you can be content in them, knowing that there is going to be a way out, there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, so that you'll be able to remain hopeful. And even though it's a difficult season, you can work hard. Also, the reason there's different seasons in our lives is it helps us to change as people, to grow, to have new challenges, so that we can become who we need to become. Also, work on becoming the best versions of ourselves, because if you're doing everything right the whole time and you get nothing wrong, you won't learn anything new, because you'll feel like I know everything that I need to know. That's why everything is going right. So all these different seasons is in our life for a reason, and knowing that makes it so much easier to cope and navigate through all of these different stages in our lives. And these stages can also be in the aging process. So from a certain age, it can also be spring in our lives, like from when we're born to in our 20s. And yeah, there's just going to be a season when you're old now, you've retired, your children are out of the house, you've become grandparents, and this is just a wind down season, knowing that your life is going to become to an end and you can't be doing everything that you did when you were young. So it's about accepting all of these seasons in our lives. That's going to help us to remain joyful, because happiness is something that it's an emotion, it comes and it goes, but being able to choose to be joyful through every season is a different thing. Joy lasts, and it's not just short term. You can choose to be joyful all of your life. It doesn't have to be something that changes all the time. It can be a constant in your life. But yeah, that's it from me, Daniel. I hope you've enjoyed this video today, and I hope you could have learned something out of this conversation that I was having with you guys. So be sure to like the video, to subscribe if you like this content, and give us a comment on what you would like us to discuss next. Much love from Better Than Yesterday. Bye.